My fellow Americans, 'tis I, the Rumpled One. It looks like there's a golfer out there, Phil Nichols, something like that. Makes a lot of money. Looked at his taxes and added things up and realized that he's paying about 64% of his income in taxes. At 64 cents out of every dollar that he earns, he gets to keep 36 cents. And he thought that maybe he should move. I guess he lives in California. If he moves, he should move out of California. And then he backtracked. He goes, "Oh, you know, I shot my mouth off. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend anybody. You know, that really is a personal matter, and I should have kept it to myself, my accountants." Maybe he's going to lose an endorsement or two. I don't know. And some people think that sports figures and celebrities should keep their mouths shut when it comes to political issues. Personally, I think they should speak up. I don't think he did anything wrong by saying what he said. I think maybe he could have opened a few people's eyes. And they would go, "Wow, yeah, is that fair? If he made $1 million golfing, that he should pay $640,000 to the government? Of course it's not fair. It's just nuts. It's crazy." And I think Lincoln and Franklin and Jefferson and Hamilton and Henry, I think those guys would have been locked and loaded way before it got to even the 50% mark. I think they would have probably locked and loaded somewhere when it got to about 20%. You're going to take 20 cents out of every dollar I make? That's just my opinion. But it's easy to pick on certain celebrities because we can find hypocrisy. But I still think that it's okay for them to get out there and say what they have to say. I mean, I love it when Ted Nugent talks about guns. That's great. You know, rock and roll fame. Yeah, go, Nugent, go. But, you know, some of the Hollywood people, of course, if you don't like what they have to say, you think they should shut up, but that's kind of just human nature. Like Jane Fonda. Or Michael Moore. Or even Spike Lee at times. I guess Leonard DiCaprio, and I don't know if Brad Pitt talks too much. But I think Matt Damon probably stuck his foot in his mouth. I love Charlie Sheen. I love to hear him do something about Obama. And too bad we don't have George Carlin anymore. But I think, what's that guy? The magician, Penn? I think he's picking up where George left off. But back to the main point. 64% out of every dollar of that golfer is going to taxes. There's something wrong. Something really wrong with Congress that they think that's okay. But once again, you have to realize most people making $1 million will probably pay an accountant 10, 20, 30,000 to make sure they don't pay 640,000. They might pay the accountant 40,000, and that accountant might save them 400,000. Well worth the expense. Because the tax laws are so convoluted and got all these back doors and exemptions, exceptions, that the rich just don't have to pay. So the tax rate It's just a myth. It's just something that they can kick around and diddle with when the real problem is never addressed. Because the real problem is the government's out of control and they're spending way too much. And the government grows like a cancer. And the government is just consuming more and more year after year. Because the government is involved in things it doesn't need to be involved in. There's so many redundancies. Let's just take a couple of things. Education. We got national. We got state. We got local. Why do we have to have 3 levels when all we're trying to do is educate kids? How about we get rid of the federal level altogether? That'll save a bunch of money. Now next, let's get rid of the state level. Or if we want to keep the state level, then all the money goes to the state and then it goes back to even things out. But is that fair? I mean, a lot of people work their butts off so they can move into a neighborhood where their kid gets a good education. But some people don't think that's fair. And then there's busing, and then so the people in the poor areas get the same deal as the people in the rich areas. They think that's going to fix things. Well, then the people in the rich area go, well, screw it, we'll pay taxes, but we'll just send our kids to private school. And it's been proven, more money doesn't equal better education. It's not correlated. And the state of education in this country has just been going down. We've lost our place in the world and we just keep going down, down, down. Getting our butts kicked when it comes to education. I know, this is about taxes, but I'm just showing you what's wrong with the government. Another pet peeve of mine is parks. We got national parks, state parks, county parks. I mean, well, you can't argue against parks, but the thing is, every park, that's just more money out of the hip national bank. Your hip national bank, my hip national bank. I mean, how many parks is enough? Come on, give me a break. But you see, if you talk against things like that, then you're a bad person, right? So they just keep raising your taxes because what happens is, let's say you get some guy in the local park. One person, right? He's the head of the local park. Well, he can only do so much. So he comes back, he goes, hey, you know, I need some help. So I need a helper, at least part-time. So they hire somebody part-time. Well, who pays for the salaries? It comes out of Hip National Bank. Well, then another year goes by, he goes, you know, we really need to put this guy on full-time. And so it goes. It just snowballs like that. Now you got 2 people. And then the year after that, he wants, you know, hire some people, kids during the summer. More Hip National Bank. It just never stops. Because this guy wants to keep his job. This guy wants to be important. In government, the more people under you, that's how you, more important you are. There's no benefit in saving any taxpayer dollars. No, they just want more. So, you see, that's the problem. That's why that golfer looks at his taxes and he says, 64 cents out of every dollar? You gotta be kidding me. Wake up, America. Smell the tyranny.